Carrie did it anyway. Blame it all on Carrie.
This is totally different.
I want to see if you were awake.
Gosh, I did scapegoat for at least 2 calls.
Okay. Good morning.
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 We do have a quorum, so if it's okay with everyone, we can get started. Good morning. This is the Economic Development Advisory Board for Wednesday, August 17th. May have a roll call.
Ms. Killian,
Here.
Ms. Traeger,
Here.
Mr. McDermott,
Here.
Mr. Davis,
Here.
Bishop Derek Triplett, Carl Lentz,
Here.
Thomas Blond. We have a quorum.
We do have quorum. Thank you very much. We call for the approval of the minutes. Let's just start one at a time. April 20th. Do I hear?
So moved.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Hear approval for minutes for July 20th.
So moved.
I'll second. I wasn't here.
Second. Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
For the minutes for May 18th, do I hear approval?
So moved.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you very much. Okay, let's start with our reports. Mr. Erlinger is here.
I am. I think I am.
Famous Phil.
Famous Phil.
Thanks. Something like that, whatever. I'll just keep it brief this morning. I'll bring everybody up to date. Carol and I were talking about our involvement with the LPGA Futures Tour, which the city is very much an active partner with, as is the Chamber and Economic Development. We came together last year as a group of private and public and came up with $100,000 between the business community, the city of Daytona Beach, the Chamber, and the county in order to support our LPGA headquarters here. We did that in the way of supporting the Futures Tour, which are the players who would like to get on the regular tour. We started kind of late in the season, so we didn't really have a lot of time, but we did get together, and we did several weeks ago use the LPGA Futures Tour tournament in Syracuse, New York, as an economic development recruiting tool. We started out with a list of about 300 companies in the area. We boiled it down. We ended up, after qualifying them, that they really were interested in 4 Pro-Am teams to play in the tournament. And then we had an additional company who didn't want to play golf, but they did want to talk to us. Out of that, we've got 2 good prospects. So we were very pleased with that. We had 2 ambassadors. We talked about ambassadors last time. The next one is beginning first week in September in Albany. That's not a LPGA sponsored tour, so we were limited to 1 Pro-Am team, which we've got filled basically already, and some additional appointments while we're there. So overall, we're real happy with it's a very kind of a unique approach. Nobody's tried this before, so we're going to see how it is. So far, it's worked out well. The LPGA on their side has been working closely with us. So next year, the last tournament of the season, which is the Albany tournament this year, next year will be here in Daytona Beach, and that's the closing tournament. That's when they give out all the prize money. That's when they give out the tour cards for the 10 top players to go. They get their full LPGA tour cards, and that tournament is televised. So LPGA has done their part. We've been working real hard and on getting it all together, and I must say, they really have their stuff together. They really do. They are very well organized, and it's really a pleasure to deal and work with them. Emory as compared to us. So we've been having but they've done this. This is their business, and they're very good at it. I think they're very pleased at the community support. There aren't too many communities that have a national headquarters for a major sporting event like that here.
We have 2.
Well, we have 2.
We have more than that, actually.
Yeah, well, I know that, but I mean, to have the LPGA headquarters here, and nobody can be against ladies golf. I mean, so what can you just say? So we're very pleased with that. So far, it's going extremely well. Even on a cost-benefit ratio, Emory and I went through those numbers, compared to normally going to a trade show, the amount of money you spend traveling, and the whole routine. This has been very cost effective.
See, Phil, what you don't understand is bankers have been doing golfing and business development for years, since 1654. And see, but in Scotland they used to, why Scotch comes in fifth, don't you? There's 18 drams
Because
of
then
Scotch in the
one
fifth,
shot per
so
hole.
everyone shot per hole. So yeah.
It's true.
Yeah, I know. I knew that.
Really?
So,
I did not know
into
that.
next year, you're gonna continue these visits?
We would hope to. What we're going to do, we're working on now, is we're going to do a presentation, LPGA, city, county, we will. Kevin Bowler, Chambers, going to make a presentation to the county council, probably next month, in terms of moving the whole process forward into 2012. And it was sort of a crapshoot, pardon my French, but so far I think it's been great. So we're looking forward to continuing that sponsorship. It's great to have them here.
I hope so, and I hope it does, just from a personal point of view. So, thank you. Anything else?
Well, we had our quarterly economic briefing. Either things are the same or worse or better, depending on your point of view. Glass is half full or half empty. The long-range prognosis, nobody knows at this point. The disarray in Washington has really damaged consumer confidence and business confidence. I think that's probably worse than anything we've had so far. So we'll have to wait and see what the impact of that is. Building permit numbers are up slightly. Commercial permitting is fairly decent, and we'll have to see. Unemployment's going to drag for a while, I'm afraid. It's over foreclosures, but for at least another year or two, maybe longer.
What is our unemployment now in the county, do you know?
9.6 as of the last count, and actually we're now slightly better. We are better, meaning lower, than the state of Florida for the first time. We've always sort of aped, the national statistics, but our unemployment has always been higher than the state average. But we've actually improved. The state employment, we've improved faster than the state has. So I don't know what that means, but our businesses seem to feel fairly confident. There was about a third of them. We did a study, about a third of them are anticipating hiring this year. And the rest pretty much stay the same, but let's hope that happens.
Ruth, you had a question?
Yes, Phil has a wonderful article in the Quarterly, Economics 101, Back to Basics. I think it should be a read for all of us. Quality of life is not the big thing that we thought it was. It's education, it's transportation, it's education facilities for their higher-ups, children, things like that. And he mentions that we should get back to basics. We should support and try to revitalize some of the business we also have already here. I think this is a fantastic article. I think everybody should read it.
Thanks.
Thank you. Give me a copy.
I'll get you.
Okay.
You should have gotten
You
it.
should,
No,
I think
Well, they
all
had
of
them
us
out.
should
They had
have.
them out for me to bring, and I forgot.
Okay. Anything more?
Not for me.
You good? Thank you. Carrie, we certainly want to welcome you. This is your first time you've made it. Can you pronounce your last name for me?
It's Samolan.
Samoa.
I always tell people mole. Little Reagan seems to clarify
Yeah,
things.
I
We're
don't
very
like
happy
it.
to have you here.
Thank you. Thanks. Would you like a little quick update
Yes.
on what Team Volusia's up to?
Absolutely.
Well, this first year in our program of work, we were focused on just laying the foundation of a startup, and I'm relieved to say I think we're close to launching some of those things, the website, the GIS platform. The unique thing about this real estate database that will go online is there will be some overlays, so you can find where real estate lies, if it's in a brownfield or a CRA, how close is it to some airports or hospitals. So I think that'll be kind of interesting, and a tool that even we can use locally outside of just promoting the commercial real estate here in Volusia. We are doing some lead generation with the CEO Business Alliance, so that's been really an interesting and fortunate resource that we have through them, through that exclusive private sector Economic Development Group. And coming up, we will be partaking in a cluster analysis so that we can apply some of these fundamental economics to our strategy development long term. That's my report.
Thank you very much. We're certainly looking forward to more positive news from your group.
Yeah, me too.
Actually, she's doing a whole lot more, but
Oh, I'm
she's being shy. So.
Carrie, can you give us an idea of how the property database, the commercial real estate property database, is going to work, and how people can get their properties in front of a bigger audience?
Sure. Well, what we're doing is we are trying to market it to local brokers, and we sent out a blast, and we asked all of our city contacts, and Volusia County was helpful in providing some real estate broker names and asking them just to send us over whatever property listings they have, and we're going to try to take that burden off the real estate community and enter it in. So if you know anyone and they would like to submit some properties, they can just email it over to us. And then and I don't know if this was part of your question, but then we do hope to make some sort of marketing campaign where we can kind of launch this nationally to site selectors and say, look, here's a new tool for you as you're doing some site selection. So.
Okay.
And we have been talking to the real estate associations as well.
You have the ability to list on our website. All that data will be transferred. There'll be one website. They have successfully linked with the Daytona Board of Realtors, the commercial, so that if you list on your own Board of Realtors, it will automatically go in to their website.
Okay.
Some of the West Side stuff, they haven't figured out that yet, whether there's some compatibility issues, am I correct?
Mm-hmm.
And costs. Mm-hmm. And but basically, the idea is going to be one website that everybody's properties come in. At one time, we had 3 different websites. We had the county website, Business Development Partnership had a website, and the Board of Realtors had a website. So the idea is we're going to consolidate that into one, and everybody's individual city or county website or theirs that has information about them will also be able to link in. So we'll have that common database. So it's taken a lot longer, I think, than anybody really wanted it to, but I think the result is going to be worthwhile.
It always takes longer
Yeah.
than you want it to.
Now, Carrie, is that both?
And we are going to put in their retail properties as well, medical facilities even.
Oh,
Okay.
very good. Well, thank you both. Any other questions from you folks? Visioning Foundation, Larry.
Yeah, we're still kind of doing some organizational things still. We have a new board member, Dan Webster, is a local attorney in town. He's turned out to be a very good board member. We have approached 2 people that tentatively have given us their okay, although they have not been, they haven't attended a meeting yet. Do I need to speak into the microphone? Okay. Yeah, me.
Doesn't have the end to it, but near it.
Okay. Anyway, and then Al Smith is one of those to represent the Downtown Redevelopment Board, and then Dan Bolajak. He served with me on a lot of different boards here in the for the city, and both of them have given us a tentative yes. In fact, we're meeting next week. Some of the, I guess I would call it almost like the executive committee, although we don't have one, to go over some items. One of them is a website development. The website hadn't been anything done to the website for about 4 years, and that's not one of my fortes. So I have to rely. I think Carol's going to help us on that and try to get that up to snuff. In today's world, if you don't have a good website, people don't want to mess with being on a website if they can't navigate around through it. We do have one initiative that we're working on, and that has to do with health care, and not indigent health care, but health care for the working poor. If you ever heard of an organization called the Jesus Clinic up in Holly Hill, if you are employed and do not have health insurance, you can be seen up there at no cost and receive drugs. And I know of a woman who got her shoulder surgery done on her shoulder. It was pro bono, and so long story short, that is a huge sector of our economy, are the people who work, and a lot of them are daily workers, some of them are laborers, some of them are semi-skilled people who work and do not get, have any kind of benefits for health insurance, and we're trying to figure out a way to increase that without going against the city's desire to keep not-for-profits out of the city, and so we've got some strategies we're working on. There's a organization called Volunteers in Medicine that we may get involved with. Certainly, the health department, Bonnie Sorensen, is on board with this. We met with her. So there's things here that would help, I think, economic development if we could find a place where some of the companies that just choose not to give benefits. And a lot of these people can get the health insurance. They just opt out. They don't pay for it. So it's maybe $500 or $600 a month, and rather than pay for it, they just go bare. So it's not a lot of the company's fault. So anyway, those are some of the things. We're looking for a couple more initiatives. That's one of the things we're going to talk about next week. A couple more initiatives, and I think it's coming around, and it's getting. We're putting some meat to the bone.
I'll just add one thing. Part of this initiative and others that we're doing is listed and strategies that are in the vision plan.
Right, they're in the
So we're trying to follow up with the things that has been written about and talked about and is part of the city plan for the Vision Foundation. So we're not just out here floating. We're really trying to follow through on certain strategies that are specific to the vision plan. So there. It's kind of hard work, actually.
Well,
It's a lot of hard work for folks, all of the folks on the foundation who are, as you all know, are volunteers. And it takes a lot of time and effort to really try to follow through on things. So that's where we are.
Yeah, sometimes it's like pushing a string.
Yeah.
We've all been there.
So thank you, Larry. Emery, you want to talk about the board meeting schedule, the proposed here? Most of this looks fine. I'm just wondering if, I know this year we have no meeting in September. I'm wondering if we shouldn't have no meeting in August instead of September. That just seems kind of...
Well, Madam Chairman, I wonder if we should meet any time during the summer because it's so, that we got so many people that are out and things. June is a better time to meet because that's the end of spring, and do July and August and meet back in September. That's what I would think.
That sounds fine with me. Emery, does that work with some of your scheduling and what you want to try to do?
If we could meet earlier in June, yes. The third week of June, I have a prior commitment each year, so that's one of the reasons. And also in September, the last 2 weeks of September, I usually have a prior. So if we wanted to meet earlier in the month, that might work for us.
It's fine with me.
Well, we could just leave it this way because you've got your prior schedules. So.
Okay, and I can I can bring back some additional dates.
Okay. Why don't we just leave it this way and then we'll face it in June when we get there? Is that better? Okay, we'll just do that.
The other concern I have, and we had this possibility raised at the last meeting when we don't have a meeting in a month, but we have a hot prospect that needs to have something done.
We can always call a meeting.
We can always call a special meeting, but that's the reason why we don't go 2 months in a row without a meeting.
Right.
What kind of notice do we have to give for a meeting? Is it 2 weeks or is it 3 days?
It's just a week, isn't it?
I want to say it's 10 days.
I think it's 10 days, so it's hard to call a special meeting.
Okay, well, let's just leave that open, and then it's working fine the way it is right now, so, okay. For the date for the market trends report, we talked about having that sometime in June, because the marketing, I'm sorry? January, I'm sorry, I said June, I was reading up here. Yeah, it's what we're still looking at is a date sometime in January so that we can get the report from the News Journal, so.
I proposed 2 dates here, there earlier in the month. One is January 10th, which is a Tuesday. The other is January 12th, which is a Thursday. Traditionally, we have had our meeting on a Thursday at 6 o'clock at the police station.
When would the 1Q report be given,
It'll
Phil?
be in November, is my understanding.
The 1Q?
No.
No, no.
Sorry.
Third quarter will be in the beginning of November, and then the fourth quarter report would be February.
Okay, 4Q, whatever it is.
See,
Okay.
we were thinking this
I'll
would
say
be a
that.
good wrap-up for what happened all this year and moving into the new year.
Yeah.
Um,
That's enough spacing.
Yeah.
If you have them stacked one week after another, you get the kind of decision where, well, do I go to this one or do I go to that one? Or do I go to both of them? It's better to have a 1 month span if we can between the county's report and what we're gonna do.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
Well, this is almost that way you said.
This is also a wrap-up in the folks that we're going to invite to come to this, so that we're not really having a meeting per se. I know we talked about that before.
That's
so
correct.
that it's really more open to the public. We can publicize it a little bit more. We have a little more time.
Yes.
So you and I need to probably work on a few things
Okay.
in September and October.
Where would this be, the police station?
That's where we are right now. If there's a different location we want to move to, we're entertaining that.
location.
Okay.
Yeah, you say commission chambers here, and I really don't want to have it in here.
No.
We need to have it.
Okay.
More informal.
Yeah, probably at the police station again, because it's such a large space.
And you also, you have,
have the
for
IT.
AV, it's really nice.
Yeah, we have all the IT stuff available, so I think that still works fine.
If
That's all
past
right.
experience means anything, I mean, we've done it twice and we wouldn't have even come close to filling this room.
Right.
So I don't know if I would object to having it at the police station, because I don't know if it's too far out or if it's not, not in a good location for everyone to get there. I don't know what it is, or maybe we're not publicizing the event enough, but, we've had, in the general public, we've had maybe
Low
20
turnout.
attendees.
Right.
So,
How many, Phil, how many people can your larger room hold? Did you say 18?
18.
So that's probably
That's a
not
conference
large
room. That wouldn't be what you want.
That's probably not large enough.
But I would say that I think that we need to do a much better job of
Well, we need to do
advertising.
the advertising
event.
and the marketing of this thing and really pump it out. So that's why we need to start doing something. And so now, once
Well-
we hear back from the News Journal on what date.
Well, what we need to come up with our date, then we can tell the News Journal.
Okay. Well, I think any one of these dates is fine if
Okay.
the police station is
Is available.
available. Yeah.
Recall that there's 2 rooms in the second floor of the police station. The first room is where we meet on the Vision Foundation. It can probably hold 50, 60 people, okay, pretty easily. And it has AV stuff and like a little kitchen where you make coffee, or if you want to keep and have refreshments. Okay, the community room can hold, I don't know, a couple hundred.
Yeah, that's larger, but
And
that's
so-
fine.
I
We
get-
can talk
so you
about
get it,
that
you know.
later if we can.
Yeah, so I think it's a good
Publicity.
venue.
I guess my point is the location of the police station itself. Most of the people that are going to be coming to this type of event are going to be, I think, more centrally located in the city of Daytona and part of the community groups and other things that are very actively involved in the community. So I would think that we would get more people if we had it in a location closer to here or somewhere in the middle of town.
Would a room at the airport be feasible?
Oh, yeah, there's plenty of room in the airport. I don't know, do we have?
Plus, we were just talking about.
We're
it's
talking
not
about-
large enough.
The illusion room. Yeah, you have to pay for that.
Yeah, that's fee-based.
Well, if we invite you to come, we have to pay for it.
Twice as much.
Let me just throw out one other.
That's not
room.
us, because that's contracted through it.
And that is room 149 downstairs. It also has the AV equipment and the set up chairs and what have you.
Right, that's true.
If we had a whole bunch of people, it would be too small for it, but that's another option.
Okay, well, obviously, that's something to talk about. It's a good idea, Carl. Okay, we'll talk about that
What
next.
about the Palmetto Club? How much would?
It's still fee-based.
That is,
Yeah. Okay, well, we'll move forward with this and,
I'll bring back some information on it.
okay. Is there any old business to discuss right now?
I will mention some old business.
Okay.
That is, I passed out the Module 2 of the Land Development Code for those persons who are on that subcommittee. Now, you should remember that all of us, all of the members of the board, are invited to be a part of that exercise, but they named 4 persons as members. No, we have not set. I've not heard about any meeting date. It's just to get the information in your hand so that you can read it. The other thing is it's supposed to be sent to me electronically, and so at that point I'll send it to everyone.
All right, terrific. Thank you. New business, the ad valorem incentive for Teledyne Oil and Gas.
I will mention that Mr. Vic McNerney is here to support that project, but the chief financial officer is not available. He is stuck out of town, cannot be here today, so we're going to not review that application today.
Okay. Thank you for coming. Do you have any comments?
No, other than, of course, we appreciate your board and previously Ocean Design, as you know it. You remember 5 years ago, there was an application submitted and approved, and that term, it was 6 years of abatements, which are about to mature now.
Okay.
Because ODI has been here now for 5.5 years. And this new project hopefully expand with support of the community and the county and the state, another 50 or 60,000 square feet on the adjoining lot, and it will become Teledyne Oil and Gas World Headquarters for Research and Development. We hope again that this board will support that request. Appreciate the county's help, and of course, Mark Greenlaw, the chief financial officer, traveled to New Hampshire for the weekend where they have a facility who was competing for this expansion. Unfortunately, he got stuck there another day or two. So,
Okay.
but thanks
Well,
for your
we'll
patience.
just put you on the agenda for next time and, meet you again.
Is this going to be a separate facility? Is this going to be a separate facility on
Yes.
the same parcel?
No, adjacent parcel.
Adjacent parcel?
Would you mind coming up to the microphone and you don't have to go through everything again, but we might not have caught everything you said.
Well, if you don't mind, Madam Chairman, if we got a few minutes, he can kind of, I wasn't quite familiar with what was going on.
Sure.
Well,
Let me make one thing, that we are competing with New Hampshire for this. Company's not yet made a decision.
Sure.
Just so everybody understands that that's where it is, that we're doing this in the anticipation, because there are certain things that happen if, all of a sudden announcements start doing this. So
No.
we're doing this on a confidential.
Yeah, it's just
Yeah,
all.
this is just very informal if you want to.
It's all on the come. Portsmouth, New Hampshire is a large facility, and they manufacture cabling for the submarine and Department of Defense industry. And we're competing with that community. Of course, they'd like to see the expansion up there in New Hampshire, and obviously we'd like to see it here in Daytona Beach. So we're hopeful that the board, your board, and the county and the state will afford some incentives to the company again, and in the hope that we'll expand this facility here on an adjoining lot, Larry, that you were asking about. Joe Fisher, maybe if you'll remember, an individual who lives in Summerlin Key, or did live in Summerlin Key, recently passed away, and still his family, Fisher Properties, owns 2 additional adjoining lots out on the corner, or basically on the corner of Mason and Williamson Boulevard. And if you'll remember, we talked a few years ago about putting radon on one of those particular lots. Unfortunately, radon went to Port Orange. But we're looking forward to that expansion. Teledyne is looking forward to that expansion, and we hope we can convince them to come to Daytona and continue their expansion here.
Is this already an existing business that they're going to be transferring down here, or how does that work? Is it going to be a lot of new jobs created?
Teledyne
well-
has been in existence for a long time.
They sure have, and they recently, Teledyne purchased Ocean Design about 4 years ago, and they also purchased this Portsmouth facility about 4 years ago. And I'd rather Mark Greenlaw get into the detail of all that,
Okay.
who couldn't make it back for today's meeting, but we appreciate everybody's interest and everybody's effort, and look forward to your support and help and get this deal done.
Well, we look forward to a lot more information. Thank
Right,
you for
yeah,
coming today.
thanks. Nice to
Appreciate
see
it.
everybody.
Okay.
Thanks, Mr. McInerney.
This same thing for Benedict Advertising, do you have any information?
I do, Madam Chair. I've had this application for some time, had some questions regarding some of the information on it. I was not going to review this application today, but I think I will.
Okay.
They submitted it actually early in the year, so I'm going to pass this out. And we'll talk about some of the
Yeah, you
pieces of
changed
the
your mind
application.
from 6 o'clock
Yes, I did.
yesterday.
Yes, I did. And this morning. And what I'd be looking for is, in terms of an action from the board, would be just to go ahead and explore this prospect with the property appraiser's office, and then I can send you back some information regarding what the amount of the funding would be. Review the application. One of the things we like to see is under page 2B. See that the company has quite a bit of experience in their personnel. D, they did consider other locations other than Daytona Beach from their report. I don't have F, which is the supporting financial information, but I think that might be able to be answered with a telephone call. Page 3, the average wage is about $35,000, which is less than 115% of the area minimum wage. They would be adding about 7 new employees in this expansion. Their number 6 on page 3, their percentage of Daytona Beach residents they're going to target for the new jobs is about 75%. Let's see. Their percentage, page 4 on number 17, their workforce diversity. There are currently about 50% of their employees are Daytona Beach residents, which is a pretty good percentage. Our ad valorem policy does allow us to support the expansion, and again, it's retaining. It's also retaining a company in the area, so it does allow us to support an expansion of a company, albeit we're not getting we're getting 7 new employees as opposed to numbers of employees. I'm not sure what the ad valorem number would be. In fact, I'm willing to bet it probably would not be magnanimous. It wouldn't be huge.
Can you tell us what they are asking for? Because in here it doesn't, I mean, are they asking for a complete exemption on their entire property?
They cannot ask for that. We, as a board, look at their application, look at what impact it's going to have on Daytona Beach, and we decide what that solution is going to be. Again, I do not have a number for you today. But
I guess maybe let me expand that question a little bit, Emery. Right now, his lot is on the corner, I think, of Riverview and Peninsula.
Okay.
Okay, and he has a I don't know, maybe what 2,000 square foot building.
It might be a little bit bigger than
Maybe a little bit bigger.
3,000?
Yeah,
So,
3,000 probably.
yeah, so there's a lot between him, and then there's a house going south, and you got Sussman's. So you got Sussman's, this house.
We have Seltzers and Gaines' office.
Huh?
between the
Yeah,
two.
that's right, excuse me. So where, this is the lot that's between the house and his,
Yes, that's right.
okay, so that lot is separate from the house?
Yes, yeah, that, the house, Seltzer's family owns that house.
Oh, really? Okay.
And then between the house and Benedict Advertising Building now, there's a lot.
The Seltzers on that too, or what?
No,
Oh.
they don't.
So that's where the construction of the new building's going to be. Any idea what the size of the building's going to be?
4,000 feet.
4,000?
Okay.
Pretty far along with hall construction in that
Okay.
project.
So they're planning on eliminating the building that they have now and building
No, additional.
Oh,
Square-
additional
yeah,
space, okay.
add to it.
They need about twice as much space.
Is it going to be 4,000 footprint, or is it going to be 2,000 two stacked?
No, single story in that acre.
Single story, 4,000 footprint.
Love to go up, I'm sure. but
Well, what are they planning for the parking thing? Isn't there a parking requirement?
I don't know I don't know any details of that, but
There's parking to the east of the
there's
building
certainly
now.
a
and then
plan
you can-
engineering done with hall.
And there's
you
street
can-
parking.
Yeah,
Well,
you
they
can.
wanted
I
to
think there's
show you
ample
that.
parking.
Okay. Well, we obviously have to wait for
Well,
more information.
I'm concerned that I don't want to. Yes, we do have to wait for more information. I want direction from the board to go ahead and contact the property appraiser's office with what I have to try to get a number for you.
I don't know if we need a motion. I make a motion to go ahead and do that.
Okay.
You're here a
Just-
second?
Okay. That's Larry.
What's the motion to contact the property appraiser's office to do
And
what?
to start the process of getting the numbers, what it's what effect it's
Well,
gonna
okay,
be.
let's
Okay.
back up. Say exactly what you want the board to do.
I haven't quite finished all of it.
Oh, okay, good then.
Okay. I need to throw out a solution for you. And then I need to give that kind of a solution to the property appraiser's office and say, look at this, and here's what the board is recommending, and let me know what that number is.
Well, I think our motion needs to be that you proceed with whatever information you need to follow up with, and then let us know, and then we'll
You got it.
attack it.
No, I have
Here's
to
the
proceed with the application. Right.
Here's what the solution would be. I'm suggesting, since it is, the impact is about 7 jobs. However, we are showing this company some love for staying in Daytona Beach and expanding in Daytona Beach. 100% for year 1, 90% for year 2, 75 for year 3, 75 for year 4, 50 for year 5, 50 for year 6, and 25 for year 7.
Okay.
I think, are those percentages on the entire property value, even the existing plus the added?
It is only on the added.
Oh, only on the added, okay,
Oh, that's
that
what
makes
I
a
was
lot
gonna
more
say.
sense. My concern
Oh,
was that it would be, it would take what's currently there off of the tax rolls, which I would probably.
Well, you're talking about maybe a project of what, 600 grand?
150 a foot, put it up.
Plus the land, so seven.
They've owned the
seven-
land.
They've owned the land.
Oh, they own the land, so 600 grand, yeah.
Have they
So-
completed these 2 jobs for 2011?
I don't know.
I can find out in about.
I think there's, aside
30
from the
minutes.
7 jobs, there's a kind of an intangible benefit of this company. They do a lot of things in the community in addition to hiring people.
Yeah.
So it's kind of,
Yeah, they're one of the basic
Yeah.
supporters in this community that are just, we want to do everything, I think personally, that we can to
Okay.
help them out. So anyway, is there a motion on the floor?
Well, the motion on the floor is for him to continue with the application process, including contacting the county tax appraiser's office to get the information of what this number is going to be on the application, and to present that to us at our next meeting.
Do I hear a second?
That's correct.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank
You
you.
know, I want to add, along those lines, even with the Teledyne thing, you said they were competing with another municipality. Anything this board can do to keep projects like that moving forward. I certainly don't need to hear from the CFO to know that that's a good idea.
Yeah.
To keep this, if they have some assurance that at least on some low-level board, we've already said, the faster we can get that to city commission, the faster we can get the city to, when you're competing with another town somewhere else, we can't even get it through an advisory board.
Right.
From their perspective, we're waiting. Sure, we're waiting, but from their perspective, they could very easily say, "Man, we can't even get this to an advisory board." That's kind of
Well, Tim, I don't disagree with you. Has Teledyne made a formal application like this one?
Well, they
They
haven't
have,
finished their application totally is what the problem is.
that's
right?
correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, and Tim, I don't think we can we obviously can't get this application passed today because we don't
Sure.
know the financial ramifications for the county and the city.
Well, the application is incomplete still, is what he's saying. I
For,
think they're
for,
just
we're talking
here.
Teledyne?
Right.
Okay, yeah, that's correct. We need to confirm some of the data.
Right. And then, we should have a lot more information next time, but I agree with you.
Yeah.
The more that we can help push these things through.
But I mean, the Benedict one, you're just asking for our permission to even proceed in approving them. If there's ever any issue like that with a Teledyne size deal,
Yeah.
I really want.
Right. I'm not sure we
Continue
really
to
need to
research.
have a motion for you to do all of this stuff. but,
Let me
but that's
let me
your
go
job.
let me go a step further.
Okay.
Well, I need something in terms of the solution, whether it's going to be 100% for 2 years, 3
Oh,
years.
that comes-
I need that.
Sure.
Okay, in order to have my conversation with the property appraiser's office. Let me go a step further with Benedict. Benedict has submitted this application some time ago. We've been waiting for some other things to kind of clear up. If I can get answers to the parking issue, for example, and some of the other kinds of things in here, and I contact the company and there's a reason that we need to move quickly, I'd like the consensus of the board that I would be able to go ahead and prepare an item to submit to the city commission. That's really where I want to go with this one. They're pretty much complete right now. There's not a whole lot of questions except for the parking. I don't want for us to approve something and the parking's not right, and then they can point to this board and say, well, this board wants it to happen, therefore you need to back up off the parking requirement or what have you. That's my really deep question here. But absent that, we're ready to proceed to city commission.
Well, and to Tim's thing about moving forward, if we need to meet as a board, since we're not going to be here in September, I'm all for calling a special meeting if we have to.
Okay.
Can you email also?
Yes.
Yeah.
We can canvass the.
That would be terrific, so.
Emery, is there a standard for the tax exemption percentages? You gave us a 7-year plan with the 100, 90, 75, 75, 50, 50, 25. Is that a standard exemption amount, or is this something that they've actually requested?
They've not requested. We're looking at the impact that it's going to have on the city. For example, for the Teledyne solution, it might be a little bit different. It might be 100% for 2 or 3 years.
Do you think it would be a good idea or not to maybe have a standard based on the number of jobs that are created and the annual average salary to sort of, rather than if Teledyne comes in and gets a certain deal and another company of the same size comes in and gets a deal and they have 2 different deals, one of them might feel slighted for not getting that good of a deal or the other one, I think it might be a good idea for us to set a standard for the actual exemption amounts in the future.
Do you have a template of any kind that you kind of sort of work with off the top of your head anyway?
Typically, if it's going to be 50 jobs or more, we're going to go 2 years, minimum 100%, and then we're going to go 80, 60, like that. If it's going to be more than that, then we might be more generous.
Okay.
But
I think it'd be a good idea to have a template that just sort of defines for us exactly where we need to be in each circumstance for, depending
Yeah,
on
I
the number
think
of jobs.
that's a good idea. I think that would help you too, and then we can always move one way or the other depending on the individual issue. That makes sense. Okay. Comments, anybody?
Well, I'm just doing a little basic math. Being a $600,000 project, we're probably looking at $38,000 to $40,000. But, just kind of doing a little, spitballing here. If
Of exempted tax amount
exactly, yeah, for
over a 7-year period?
over a 7-year period.
It's probably a little bit more
Yeah.
than that.
Huh?
I think it's probably more than
Well, it
that.
depends. I just used a number that's static, so it could be more, could be 50, depending on what
Yeah,
the
maybe
tax
about 50,
is
yeah.
about. But it's probably not going to be more than 50.
Mhm.
Anything else? Anyone
Nope.
on this? Any other questions, comments? Okay. Well, since we will not have a meeting, we'll just wait to hear from you on both of these issues because we don't have a meeting in September. So we might need to,
Call one.
okay.
Isn't there something in October?
Yes.
We do. We better. October 19th, yeah, is the next scheduled meeting. So we have no citizens here, so no citizens' comments. Let's go around.
Excuse me, that's
Sure.
October 2010, isn't it?
October.
Oh, yeah, Wednesday, okay, I see.
October
Gotcha.
19th, 2011.
Gotcha.
Yeah, is the next meeting. So let's go around the table. Any comments?
Well, I guess my comment still goes back to Benedict. Okay, Emery. If this project's been hanging around for a while, and you're kind of trying to decide, and then we don't have a meeting coming up, and you want to expedite it, so I have to call a special meeting. Shouldn't this application have been prepared and given us financial impacts that we could have acted on today?
The way the conversation with the property appraiser's office goes, I need to have a solution from you. You need to have the 190.
Well, you're making a recommendation to us. You could have made a recommendation to us that way, and then we could have just changed the numbers, right? Rather than sitting here trying to spitball a number.
Well, and that's why I think it'd be a good advisable to have a template that we don't have to go and mess with these numbers every time. It's just there. It's just on paper.
What's required in the commission agenda is a signed letter from the property appraiser's office. So the property appraiser has to know what that solution is in order to create that letter. That has to go in the back.
No, but you're not getting my point. This has been going on. I mean, this project's been going on for a while, and we're not prepared to act on it. We're not meeting in September, and you wanted us to expedite it past us to the city commission, basically. And I'm not sure. I think that's the right. Yeah, it may be the expedient thing to do. I would have hoped that that this would have been prepared today with your recommendation, so that we could have acted on it and we could have changed the percentages or whatever else. But we're sitting here spitballing. That's all I'm saying is that
I gotcha.
before our meeting, these kind of things really need to be prepared, and so that we can act on them. That's all.
Which is
You
one
put us
reason.
in you put us in a bad situation.
I understand, but which is one reason why I was not going to bring it forward today. Now, the application was submitted, but that doesn't mean that the application was completed on this date. There were a whole bunch of other stuff that went into the preparation of this application that happened after the date that you see on the front of the application. So here we are today, and that motion failed. We're not going to expedite it past the board to the city commission. We're going to, if we need to, bring it back here
Right.
to see what that number is. That's not going to happen.
Well, and part of it is the chicken and the egg thing. You were telling me and us that the application has really not been completed. So, I mean, you gotta have an application before you can do some things, and then you can do some things without that. And I guess that's what they're asking for is, you know,
Well-
some of the stuff you can do even without the
Right.
application being completed.
Yeah, in the future, if we have this template, at least I can,
Yes.
I could go forward with
Yes.
that to the property appraiser's office and come back. If we wanted to do more,
Right.
for example, for Teledyne or Radon or what have you, some of those kinds of companies or opportunities, they don't fit into a nice little neat package per se.
Right.
So we'll see how the template works.
Okay, all right. Any other comments, Carl? Rick? Tim? You guys over there at the end of the table? Thank you all for coming today.
Professional practitioners.
I think it was a good meeting, but yeah, I think we might need to keep lines open for some of this stuff to come up in September, even though we don't have a meeting. So, call for adjournment?
So moved.
All approved. Thank you.
Unanimous, huh?
Unanimous, thank you all.